Hello and welcome to Z Inspires. I am a proud alumni of Ramba Boys High School. Ramba Boys High School is a school in Siaya County, Rarieda Sub-County. That is where I went to school between 1989 to 1992 when I finally sat for my KCSE and passed and proceeded to the university. But I would want to talk about my experiences at high school and not at the university because I believe that high school forms the better part of our formative years. That is why more often than not we remember our experiences at high school, but we rarely remember our experiences at the university. And there is a reason to that. Of course, it is part of the developmental processes. You remember more what happens to you a period after your childhood and probably your adolescent more than your experiences when you are fully a developed adult. And so let me recount a few experiences that I had at Ramba Boys High School. During our time, our principal was Paul Odaga. Paul was a strict disciplinarian and a good principal by any standards. One of the things that I learned at high school is that as a man you have to be extremely strong and extremely focused and extremely firm in anything that you do. And he would tell us that I want my boys to stand on their 2 feet like this. That is what he used to say. I want you people to stand on your 2 feet like this, and he would actually stamp his authority as he stands, then tells you, and you redden your eyes. That is when you are going to survive in the outside world. And today I appreciate Mr. Daga's contribution in my life because, for one thing, I reported to that school a little late. I had broken my legs when the result for the class 8 was out, and therefore I stayed quite a long period of time before I reported to school. So I reported to school around March, and the reporting dates usually during those days was in February. So I spent 1 more month outside school. But when I came to school, and that is high school, I was able to integrate myself and move forward. And I was learning a lot of things from my principal and my contemporaries at that particular time. I think, maybe they're out there, Engineer Agri Otieno, Engineer Ombogo, George Juma, who is in India, Professor George Oliech. All these are my contemporaries. We went to school together, the same school. And at the university, I was privileged to have gone to the same university with Engineer Agri Otieno and Engineer Umbogo. That is Moi University in Eldoret. So that forms the better bit of my experiences, those that I interacted with. Sometimes they ask you who are your contemporaries, so you are able to pick 1 or 2. And therefore, I became a real man while I was at Ramba because of the principal then, as I've said, Mr. Paul Odaga. But let me recount this experience and I'll relate it to what happens in life. There was an instance where some hunters were running after an antelope. They had scared of an antelope, and this antelope actually crossed over to the school. That is Ramba Boys High School. And it was during games time. And when the antelope crossed over to the school, the hunters were unable to cross over the fence, so they had to go around the school through the gate to the school. And by the time the antelope arrived in the school, actually the boys ran after the antelope and killed that antelope. It's one of the experiences that I always talk about, my best experience at Ramba High School. And so these guys were able to get permission at the gate and to the principal's office to ask for the antelope that had been killed by the boys. But Odaga asked them a very simple question. Amongst you here, who is the owner of the antelope? They were unable to state the actual owner of the antelope. And then he asked them, or could it be that you own it as a unit, so you are the owners of the antelope? Then foolishly they said yes. Why? That was a question that Odaga asked them. And they said that because they are the ones who scared off the antelope from the bushes, and finally the antelope crossed over to the school, and the students have killed the antelope. So obviously the antelope belongs to them. Then Odaga dismissed them and told the watchmen to take them out of the school because they were jokers. And Odaga insisted that that antelope belonged to those students who had actually killed it while it was at school. And this is part of the things that I learned. That don't claim anything that you have simply scared of. Like this guy is scared of an antelope from the bushes. You can start off something, but if you don't complete it, if you don't actually do the bit that completes the whole exercise, then the whole thing is null and void. It doesn't help you at all. Like these hunters that had scared off an antelope. And the antelope is finally killed by other people who are not them, and they are now claiming that they are the owners of the antelope. Odaga told them off that you are not. The owners of this antelope are actually the students who have killed it, and I'm going to prepare some good meal of antelope for them. And actually that's exactly what he did. The following day, the antelope was prepared for the boys who had actually killed that antelope. So sometimes in life, because you have started something off and you haven't completed it, and someone comes up and completes it, and you think that your contribution will be recognized. No one recognizes contributions of people who never completed a task. It is always important to complete any task that you have started. Don't claim that you scared it off or you started it off. Therefore, when it is complete now, you are part of the team that is admiring the final product. Be part of the final product, and that is when people will be very proud of you. Your contribution is usually at the level of completion. That is when we will remember what you did. So I always tell my students, I always tell my boys even at home, that when you start off something, you must have a strategy of how you're going to complete it.